I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, Renee, we're supposed to do that first before we do any business?
Yeah.
Okay. We're waiting.
Go, I was just showing off.
Somebody want to make a motion for the chair?
I would like to move that Carol Dennison be chair and Dan be vice chair, as they have done so admirably in the past.
I will second that.
All in favor?
I guess we can vote for ourselves, right? You have to.
Yeah.
You need to have the votes, right?
Okay, so Carol will serve as chair this year and Dan vice chair. Thank you.
We just wanted to mix it up a little.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, why don't we give you some more responsibility? Why don't you roll through the agendas today? I might not always be here.
Need a motion to sign the warrants.
I will second that.
Has been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye. All right, then I'll pass the papers down.
Carol, if you'd like to start that, I would also then like to request a motion to approve the minutes of August 5th, 2020 Select Board meeting as written.
So moved.
All in favor?
All right,
And Rachel, you seconded?
absolutely. No, I think Jason did.
He moved the motion, made a motion.
And I'm looking at old business, and it's scratched out,
Yes.
and it's going to be whatever the
And
old
my
business
error.
was.
It's my
It's
error.
not old enough. And it's gonna be in 2 more weeks. Is 2 more weeks actually September? Oh my goodness.
Yes.
It's frightening, isn't it?
Nothing to be done on
Get
that.
ready to plow snow.
So, new business. We need to sign a quitclaim deed. Might we have that available?
We do.
This was revealed to the tax collector by the owner. It's something that wasn't released years ago, so it's just some cleanup work.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to sign the quitclaim deed.
Second.
All in favor?
Seconded by Jason.
This is the one where you have to make sure your middle initial, if it is on here, you put in Dan S. Wagner. There you go.
Thank you, Sue.
James first.
And I think this next item on the agenda is Rachel's.
Oh, was that the letter to the governor?
Yes.
All right, let me preamble that with a little history. Recently, I was given to take the COVID-19 test, which, as some of you know, may only be taken in Calais. And unless you are a current patient at the medical center, you may not take one. And by current, I mean current, not within the past 10 years, current. And it occurred to me that given the state of this country and the fact that the virus may not be going away and it may get worse, I would think that Lubec perhaps should open up a COVID-19 testing site on demand. And I think it would service certainly the people here. We are in an aging community. People who need a COVID-19 test have to drive, it's almost an hour to Calais and back. We don't have ready public transportation. And I think it would be our civic duty to request from the governor that we expand the COVID testing. So I would like us to write a letter to her and anticipate a response, and we all sign it.
I will make a motion that we write said letter.
Thank you, Mr. Vacius.
Do you have a second? I assume you second, right, Rachel? All in favor? So for next time.
So the letter has not yet been written.
No, this was a request. adult ed payment. We have to sign, okay, Dan, I'm letting you go, keep going.
Would sign authorization for the adult ed payment,
I'll
which
make a
was very
motion.
successful last year.
I'll make a motion, we sign the adult ed payment.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
I'll second.
There you go.
Dan seconded.
All those in favor? And as we go through the list, I'm sure we have quite an extensive paperwork on appointees that need to be signed.
Ooh, I thought we weren't doing this.
Those are the important ones, and we're doing other committees.
Oh, these are the important ones.
And it looks like a thick stack, so you at home, if you'd like to go refill your coffee or,
That's the whole list on your right hand, that's just the list, if you wanted to read them all in one motion or
We can just
whatever.
do this and then they're followed. All right, there you go, Dan.
make a motion to nominate the appointees for the 2021. Appointments are for 1 year unless stated. We have Town Administrator Renee Gray, Town Clerk Renee Gray, Register of Voters Suzette Francis, Treasurer Tax Collector Suzette Francis, Deputy Treasurer Tax Collector, is it Renee Gray? Yeah, Renee Gray. Assessing Agent Jimmy James Clark, Agent to the Overseers of the Poor Suzette Francis, Emergency Agent to the Overseers of the Poor Renee Gray, Code Enforcement Officer Gary Rose, Licensing Plumbing Inspector Bruce Green, Health Officer Marlene Gilpatrick, Animal Control Officer Rhonda Welcome, Deputy Animal Control Officer Sheldon Lyons, Fire Chief Robert Hood, Assistant Fire Chief Darrell Tinker and Randy Hall, Harbor Master Ralph Dennison, Emergency Management Director Renee Gray, Emergency Management Deputy Director Carol Dennison, and Rachel Rubiar. Washington County Emergency Medical Services Authority Director Joanne Case and alternate Robert Hood, Mayor and Transfer Station Board of Director Jason Evasius. And Mayor and Transfer Station Board of Director alternate Rachel Rubiar, approving agent of driveway culvert applications Ricky Bradley, Road Commissioner Renee Gray, Shellfish Warden Sheldon Lyons, Deputy Shellfish Warden Rhonda Welcome, Revolving Loan Administrator Suzette Francis, Deputy Revolving Loan Administrator Renee Gray, Washington City Council of Governments Rachel Rubiar, Washington County Council of Governments alternate Carol Dennison. Planning Board Sharon Yates through 2023 and Michael Scrivani through 2023. Planning Board Associate Members, 2 members needed, were Patricia Van Rollins through 2021 and Susan Harrow 2021. Board of Appeals, Peter Boyce 2023, Wanda Matthews 2023, and Daniel Francis 2022 filling vacancy.
I will make a motion that we accept as written.
I second.
All those in favor?
Very good, okay, get your signature hands out. Do you want to start half of them somewhere else? How about pass those ones down to Jason and work backwards?
All right.
If you happen to be on it, and which is I just did, sign mine, just make sure there's 3 that isn't
We
me.
just sign these, right?
Because there's 4 of us, if we all sign everything, we'll be fine in case you forget your name.
While this is going on, do we have any committee updates that anyone would like to speak of, therefore
Well,
to?
we have not met because we've moved, the recycle committee has moved to quarterly meetings, but I would like to remind everybody that the next quarterly meeting will be September the 11th. And that will be right after our next select board meeting. And I expect everybody to show up, by golly,
Is it, which one, recycling?
recycling.
It seems to look really nice down there, now that we're not taking the mixed paper, I think it's getting more organized.
Is Carol recycling?
I
As I say to
do.
everyone I see down there, only cool people recycle.
Right.
It's a great
Recycling
social
is
center.
Yeah.
We know that. That should have been a
Wonderful-
slogan.
You need wonderful people down there.
I think I put that in my report. It was,
Yes.
yeah.
We need to make a t-shirt.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry. If you sign yours by mistake, it doesn't matter, we're gonna all sign in, that's 4, you just need 3 to have an appointment anyway. Renee, who calls everybody to have you come in?
We do.
Do.
The office staff. I've contacted Amanda, she says nothing's changing on the shellfish committee.
Okay, yes, so in
The
the
harbor,
next,
yeah,
we're having a
Same
meeting
time.
on Monday, so I'll make sure that they all get reappointed or find out if they're gonna be reappointed. I mentioned that to them.
Have we had a response from the letter about Sheldon?
yes, and we'll talk about that in
Okay,
executive session.
Okay. Oh, no.
Any other particular business in committees that,
I have
Would you
another
like to input?
business, Dan. I was approached by someone who wanted to know whether or not we could use the canopy, part of the canopy grant to get the stumps removed from Monument Park and also to get someone to clean the monument that has an eagle on top of it because you can't read the writing. And I believe the price for that is $300 and I don't know about removing the stumps. But Renee told me that there was a fund for maintaining that park, so I wanted to know how anybody felt about actually fixing the monument so you could read it and getting rid of the kind of like ugly stumps and maybe putting new trees in its place.
Oh, definitely.
Well, if we have a fund for it, I think that's exactly what it's there for, right?
Yes, but I think there's some people who could actually, depending on how much money do we have in the fund, we don't know. Enough to do that, do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, that's a monument to our veterans.
yeah, and I think the
No,
stumps
We
look
want it to
terrible.
look good.
I don't know why.
My only question about that monument is, there was some discussion about planting red maple trees around it, right?
I'm not sure, we don't have to talk to
And
them.
I want to just say, not a good idea.
Well, what's wrong with red maple trees?
Not good trees to plant.
What's a better one to plant?
I think a regular hardwood maple would be an excellent tree. Red maples have
Are
a
not
tendency
hardwood.
to be very messy at the root, and they will entangle, and if you've got cement and stuff like that, you're gonna have big problems.
Oh,
We did have it's not an arborist, he's a state forestry
Yeah,
planner, came when we were applying for the grant, and we'll circle. Now that it has been accepted at town meeting, it can go forward, and David Stockford did call me this week, and he's written a letter for an extension on the deadline, because we needed to have these funds spent by a certain
Yeah.
deadline. So he's requested an extension.
I mean, even, and I don't know why they all have to be the same trees anyway.
You don't-
I think they could be a mixture
Yeah,
of
that's a good
trees.
idea, that way if one gets a disease, they won't,
That's
they'll
right,
be less likely
that's
to all
right.
get it. Tree COVID.
I think they had a glut
We'll
on
plant
the
them
red.
6 feet apart.
Right,
Put a mask
that's
on.
it.
a glut on the red maples, so they're going cheap, right? I'm signing as fast as I can, Jason.
Geez, Dan, you really are going fast. You must not be putting all your letters in your name. One of those squiggly signatures.
let's just keep it back on the toes. Anything else? Shellfish, harbor, revolvings, just status quo at the moment. Nothing exciting.
There's gonna be a harbor board meeting next Monday at 6, Jason. Can you try to make it? Because, they're gonna make sure that everybody on there is gonna stay on there, and we're assuming you'll stay on, right?
Yeah.
They like you on there, yeah. And now we probably need to have a, Rachel, when did you say you're recycling one?
September.
September the 11th.
Are you gonna be able to be there?
You know, I don't know.
I will not attend anything on September 11th. I lived through 9/11 in Manhattan, so I don't
Well,
do much.
you know, I'm only the liaison.
I remember that day.
I do too.
I thought I lost my wife.
My kids were in school. Where were you?
I was in northern New Jersey, but she was in Midtown.
I was
So was
in
I.
school.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. So I think it should be a national holiday myself, a day
You
of
guys
mourning.
make it a holiday for them?
Well, I think I did. I think the select board, I made a motion that it was gonna be a day to remember in the town of Lubec. I think the town office is gonna be closed that day.
And Lubec lost 2 people.
I know. Rachel, I don't think we're gonna be open September 11th. You have to fix that. When the governor said that we were gonna, honor the first responders that day,
That's fine. We will put it again to, let's say, the following week, the 18th. How about that?
that sounds fine. But hopefully, it can go all the way to the top and we can have a national day of remembrance, especially after the COVID-19 day for first responders. Why not be that day? That's when they really,
So, make sure I'm clear on this. What are you planning on doing on September 11th?
we're going to have, honor the first responders
You're
and
closing the office?
honor the first responders. I believe it came down from the governor. I don't know what the state's doing, but I do know it's been designated. We should probably check on that.
We did, they're not closing.
They're not closing, but it was deemed,
But the office here will
a
be closed.
national,
A state holiday.
it was a state holiday.
Will
It-
Tool, number three.
Will Tool, you might wanna mention to Will Tool, ask him. He
But-
made it a, it,
This office here will be closed.
we're closing, cause that's what we assumed, and we've already made a motion to close, and I think it's a good idea. So we will be closed to honor first responders on September 11th. And
We
we
will
think,
also be closed on Labor Day.
Labor Day,
when's Labor Day?
the 7th. Monday.
It's late, and then it'll be really early next year. It's the last day it can be, and then it goes back to the first. About that, that's all it goes, right? Have town flags, you having fun. Now, anything else? Let's see.
Is
did
it
you-
too premature or out of line to ask if we could have an update on Sonia?
I talked to her today. She's making good strides. She says it takes her 10 minutes to put her pants on, but she's slow, but she's getting better by the minute.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
She sounded good on the phone.
That's good.
And I do have a safe harbor update. We're going to, the probing, for the safe harbor project is scheduled for September 8th. And it's moving right along. And we're hoping to get the federal contract delivered soon so that we can go, start thinking about going out to bid.
The sidewalk, Washington Street sidewalk is done, all except for the little bit in front of Townsend Lane, where there were some water shut-offs that they were waiting, they're at the mercy of the water company.
And then
to
we'll
get
have a
them
tally
moved,
on the,
And then we'll have it complete.
and then will that money go back into undesignated
Yes, it
that
will.
wasn't spent?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, I think there's something else that goes along with the sidewalk. We have to keep it clean. We're obligated to plow it or snow blow it. That's part of the whole deal with the state and the grant.
So keep that money aside for the cleaning of it?
Well, I think we're gonna have,
That's not a bad
we
idea.
don't have a piece of equipment.
We don't have a street sidewalk snowplow.
We don't have anything to do.
Something that would plow snow and sweep, so that we wouldn't have to borrow. We borrow a tractor now, but we have our own sweeper.
So maybe we could designate the money.
Correct.
That's a good idea, Jason.
I mean, it's all the same thing.
Mhm.
So.
We can talk about it more when we get
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Find out how much exactly.
Let's not talk
we
about snow yet.
It'll be next month.
Jeff, do we have any
I think
public comments before we do need to go into executive session? 1 MRSA 405, a personnel. So any public? Anybody at all out there?
Yeah, don't be shy.
John, speak up, you're the only one here.
You have any questions?
I don't have any.
The executive
What was it?
session wasn't on the agenda, but it came up this week, so it's something that's unexpected.
Hearing none. If we could head into executive session.
Motion?
Motion.
Make a motion.
I will second it.
You have to make a
Favor.
motion to go in the
All in
executive
favor?
session,
Can I have a brief
MRSA
conversation
456,
with you next?
personal, remember I used to say
Personnel.
personnel.
What is the
Remember I
correct
used to say
number
that?
that I could
267.
267